Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. This is the Night Gremlin, and I have a question for you. A very important life question. What would happen if you mixed Alien 3 with Alien Resurrection? Imagine you took those two movies and threw them into a metaphorical blender and you mixed it all together. What would you get out of it? What would you pull out? You would get Alien Covenant. Yes, after seeing this movie and after doing my own homework to an extent, I have finally come around to making this video. Now, when I first heard about it coming out in theaters, I prepared myself early on. I only saw the initial trailer just to get a good basic understanding of what was going on, of what it was about. But from there on, I avoided anything more. I didn't want to spoil the movie. I didn't want to watch any further trailers because, as we all know, pretty much trailers these days, they get into too much detail. But that's another rant for another time. I only watched one trailer for this movie, and that's it. And that's all I knew about it coming in and watching it. There have been a lot of mixed reactions and mixed reviews. Well, this is no exception. This is going to be one of them. However, I'm going to do my best to present my honest and true opinion, unaffected by anybody else. My own personal opinion of what I thought of this movie, having seen it once, and having done a little bit of research. So let's begin with a few points here. The reason I mentioned Alien 3 and Alien Resurrection is because this movie feels like that. But it doesn't feel like one or the other. It feels kind of like both. It's a mixture. It has the nothingness of Alien 3. You know, the unoriginality of that, mixed with the absurdity and the CGI of Alien Resurrection. And that's why I made that comparison, because those are some of the main problems that we suffer here. So I'm going to have to get into a little bit more detail from here on. I'm going to tell you that from now on, there will be spoilers up until this point. So let's begin. First of all, the characters. There's only really two characters, perhaps three characters that you need to know. Everybody else is alien bait. They're fodder. They're gonna die. That's how it works in these horror movies. So the three people that we really care about at this point is David. We know David from Prometheus, of course. There's Walter. He's basically an upgraded version of David. He's the same kind of robot. And then we have Daniels, who does survive till the end of the movie. And I think there's somebody else who survives at the end of the movie, but really, I don't care and I don't remember. Now, this movie wasn't horrendous. It wasn't god-awful. It was alright. It was entertaining enough. But that's the problem. It didn't live up to the expectations, the hype we had coming off of Prometheus. Now, Prometheus within itself is a very complicated movie, and the fans are very divided on it. However, it had a lot of promise, and to an extent, it was a success. It ushered in this new genre of alien, and it brought in something new, and at the same time, it brought us back to the roots of Alien. But with Alien Covenant, as a continuation of Prometheus, it failed. And there are a few reasons it failed, but first of all, it was not the sequel to Prometheus that we should have gotten. Early on after Prometheus was released, we knew that they were going to make a sequel. It was in the works. However, it did take a little bit of time to push through. In that amount of time, the sequel that Ridley Scott originally had in mind, coming off of Prometheus, was not the same as what we got. I think that he was influenced too much by the fans, and that this movie was not the same thing. I wish that he had gone ahead with his original plan. Making Prometheus, he had something set up. He had a story in mind. And even though there were definitely flaws with that from the very beginning, I think he should have stuck with it and made some minor changes to fix the flaws. But he shouldn't have gone in such a radically different direction like he did here with Alien Covenant. We should have seen more of Elizabeth Shaw and her interactions with David. We should have seen more of the engineers. We should have gotten Alien Paradise. That is what we did not get. And that is the disappointment. Because had we gotten Alien Paradise, it would have been taking us further in the direction that Prometheus had gone. And it could have been an improvement. Even though we had our flaws here with the prequels, it could have done justice. However, you can see the elements, the philosophy, the religion, the existentialism, those questions, those thought-provoking questions are in this movie. If it lasts even for a minute, it is present in the movie for the very beginning. And then from there on out, it becomes more of a generic action movie. Standing alone by itself, it's a good movie. It's alright, it's entertaining. You could sit down and watch it, it's not bad. But what really brings this movie down is when you compare it to all of the other movies and how it stands in relation to even Prometheus. And so the fact that it's part of this franchise is what makes it go downhill so bad. There's plenty that other people have said which go into much more detail. But at this period of time, I see no point in analyzing every single little thing about it because pretty much everybody else has. Everybody else has caught the small flaws. This is my overall generic opinion about it because I've only seen it once. Now let's move on to the future of the franchise. As I said, this movie was a hiccup, but it's alright, it's not all that bad. Obviously they're going to continue this. They're going to make a few more sequels. They need to tie this into the original Alien from 1979 because it takes place chronologically before that movie. And at this point, the franchise is in jeopardy. And in my opinion, they need to make one more prequel that continues the story and wraps everything up, tying everything into Alien. That's it. They need to focus all of their effort and energy into making one last prequel. At this point, I wish they would let this series go down in history and just let it be, because the saying, if it's already good, don't fix it. And I kind of have the same opinion of the Alien franchise. They've explored it as much as they needed to, and we've seen enough of this, but there's nothing more that can be done with this. And I think they need to realize it. They need to stop milking it. They need to end these prequels on a good note and let that be it. If they want to have another shot at this, maybe they should make another movie in the future that takes place after the Alien movies, that continues the story. Maybe make a movie or two, but that's it. They need to keep things short and sweet. They need to end the franchise and let that be it. So anyways, have a good day, and farewell for now.